Hello, MouseHunt. Welcome to Feedback Friday. Today is February 17, 2023. My name's Dave. Hello to everybody in the chat. Hope everyone is doing fantastic today. Hey, look, I can sound my horn right off the bat. And I got paired up with a Romino mouse. Oh no, of all the mice to get paired up with. But hello to everybody in the chat. Hope everyone is doing well today. Yes, indeed, the name of the song there is Impress You. That is correct. Hello to everybody. Jonathan, Tarako, nice to see you. Ryan, hello from Singapore. Right back at you. Hello from Canada. It's already midnight here. Excited for the birthday and spring egg hunt. Hey, glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, Ryan. Arctic, hello. Good to be back. Good to have you here as well. Salim, good morning to you as well. Let's go, MouseHunt birthday. All right. Hey, ScribDev in the chat. Nice to see you as always, my friend. Mac, nice to see you. Aaron, hello to you as well. And Ryan Q as well. With two Ryans in chat. Well, hello to both of you. Shotgun Jack, nice to see you. Ko, Tarako, hey, YX Dave. What did you have for breakfast? All right, we'll get right into the hard-hitting MouseHunt questions. I had coffee and a few crackers. So it was definitely a nutritious way to start your day. Why not? Rachel, good morning to you as well. Your sunny disposition always brightens your day. Well, isn't that just the nicest thing ever to say? Thank you, Rachel. Hope you're having a good day. Obastion, good morning to you as well. Ryan, you're also chasing twisted carmines. I am back in the garden. It's just where I need to be. I'm telling you, it's where the action is. Slowly but surely working on a King's Crown. I am creeping up to a diamond crown for Twisted Carmine. We're getting so close. But like so much in the game, patience is a virtue. And if there's something I like to think MouseHunt will extend into your real life is it will teach you that sometimes you need patience, perseverance, and just stick with it to make it happen. Even if it's going to take years. You know, not good things come to those who wait. But hello, everybody. Today, I thought we would take a quick peek at the Super Brie Factory event that will be coming soon to celebrate MouseHunt's 15th anniversary. If you can believe it, I have a hard time contemplating that 15 years has passed. Definitely, when we started out, we never thought the game would go for 15 years. We've often shared the memory of the Deathbot. We thought that was just above and beyond. Maybe one or two people might be able to afford the Mouse Deathbot, save up $250,000 gold. We'll see. Boy, were we wrong. We were wrong again when we thought the dragon would be the end-all, be-all of the game. That's the final mouse. And then, all right, who's going to even make it to the dragon mouse? Even that kind of went into why it's a little convoluted, a little bit building the trap and the acolyte and trying to figure all that out. It was meant to be the grand finale. Nope, we were wrong, and we're trying not to repeat that mistake. Now, we kind of assume there is no end. Every area, there will be another one, and let's just hope it continues like that for the foreseeable future. Scrib, you're about to get the final trap you need to complete your collection. Ironically, it is the broken Steve laser, eh? Good old Icewing break in your trap. Leah, good morning to you as well. So excited for your birthday. It will be your 14th mouse-iversary on March 7th. That's pretty good timing the way that works out there, Leah. Well, that's a good segue here. Let's take a quick look at the Super Brie Factory. And if you've been around the past few years during MouseHunt's anniversary, it's going to be a very familiar event. It's a great opportunity to get cheese. You can make Super Brie during the event, as well as get these snack packs to get special cheese for other areas. And you can kind of pick which snack pack you want to go. They're awfully cute, the little snack packs, like the vending machine that the event has as well. It's going to start up February 28th. That's kind of the way the timing works out. MouseHunt's actual anniversary, I always got to look at my profile because I'm good with dates, is March 7. All right, March 7 is the game's anniversary. For some reason, I always think it's March 8. It's March 7. In 2008 is the day MouseHunt launched, so it will be turning 15 on March 7. So the birthday is going to fire up a little bit before the actual birthday, and it'll run until March 21. Probably, as you can guess, new snack pack coming, Story Seeds, which is absolutely adorable looking snack pack there. Good thematic fit for the folklore forest. Have some tasty treats there. Something else too, we just kind of want to run by players, get a little bit of feedback, sentiments, impressions. We're looking at adjusting the costs of some of the trap skins in the Trap Smith specifically. So there are some birthday themed trap skins. And just as the years have gone by, they're almost trivial. It's trivial, the amount of effort you need to earn those skins. And I think just kind of missed the mark a little bit when we transitioned from them being rewarded in treasure maps into the Trapsmith, really, once you upgrade your pump and you claim one crate, you can pretty well afford every single Trapsmith or every single trap skin. So we're looking just to bring that up, maybe range from 10 to 30 Super Brie or Super Tokens plus. It's a little awkward to figure out how to pluralize that word, but there we are. And adding some appropriate gold cost to hopefully give a little bit more value to the skins without them being above and beyond like too difficult to earn, but at least enough that there's a little bit of a journey to get them, and it's not just kind of immediately you can claim all the skins. But hopefully that makes sense. But we kind of run it by players, make sure we're not drawn too far outside the lines. Macron, is it possible to remove the Queso Geyser traps requirement to complete the adventure? No, you have to complete the adventure to earn the right to arm those traps. Just kind of when we made a few adjustments there, that the requirements are there, and that you got to finish the adventure to get some traps. And that's a good reward. That way it is a reward. You unlock a new ability when you complete adventures. So kind of no plans to change that. Charbel, you've been playing for 14 years. Time has passed quickly. You're telling me it's flown by. Is it possible to send queso, spice leaves, and corks tradable like supply? No. No plans to make those tradable. Some stuff you gotta get yourself. Christopher, you opened a rare Elite Chrome Slayer a few days ago, betting on birthday events starting 3/7. You feel free to delay by a week. Well, it's food for thought. The risk you run until we officially announce a date. You can never quite know exactly when it's going to start, and often we don't like to say the date until we're confident in it. We usually wait till everything's up and running and kind of dot the T's, cross the I's, and we've done a little bit of at least preliminary testing to feel confident. Because similarly, it can be frustrating if we have to change a date after we announce it. It can be a little bit of confusion. Can lead to miscommunication. So we typically wait to announce it until we have a high degree of confidence that that is the date it will be. Sometimes unforeseen things come up and things are postponed, but hey, we try our best not to, and by waiting, I feel like that limits the likelihood of needing to postpone. Matthew must have great powers. I'm invisible. Oh, I don't know what you mean. I'm trying to get caught up on the chat a little bit here. There's one of me, there's many of you. I'm flying through here as best I can. Warden, you blew out your candles and earned 130 Super Brie for celebrating MouseHunt anniversary. If you were, was that the 10th? I believe it was the 10th birthday. It was a very special reward. If you're with us for the 10th birthday, you got a cake, and once a year you can blow out the candles to get some Super Brie from it. So remember to blow out the candles. It is the date you signed up for the game, no, not the anniversary of the game. It's a little bit confusing, I'll admit. Friends, Dave, no, you're the adorable snack pack on your screen. Oh dear. Oh dear, Fern, I don't know why I read that one. All right, Mark, small corks missing need a lot. We'll just stick at it. Like I said right at the top of Feedback Friday, I think a great thing the game can kind of just teach you that in your everyday life is patience, perseverance, and just sticking with something to get it done. Because just like in real life, that's not always immediate gratification. Sometimes you got to put in time to generate that value, to accomplish something meaningful. If everything gets done in the blink of an eye, all of a sudden, those accomplishments don't feel as meaningful and impactful. So stick with it. But I'll definitely say, if you can't stick with it long term, if you're not the type to have patience and set goals and strive towards them and make slow and steady progress, the rest of the game might not be for you either. It's definitely a slow-paced game that rewards you for sticking with it. But a lot of people enjoy it. Hey, different games for different folks as well. And the great thing is it doesn't demand a lot of your time either, right? Whether you just play it on your phone, you can be playing kind of a more fast-paced action game and MouseHunt simultaneously. I think that's one of the things I've loved about the game as the years have gone by. Hi, Dave. What's inside the Story Seeds pack? That might be a good segue to switch over jump into the event. Let me see. Let's see if this is working. Hey, it's working. All right. So if you've never seen the event before, or just can dust off the memory a little bit if you have played it before, here's at least what it looks like on browser. You have the 4 rooms you can tour. That should seem familiar. You get the control panel here. You get to upgrade the rooms as you hunt in them. That determines the mice you will encounter. That's handy as well if you're working on birthday maps. You can move around to target the mice you're looking for. The rooms, you can collect different loot drops and then spend those loot drops to upgrade the rooms to make the factory more and more efficient. You can get more Super Brie. You can pump more cheese per hunt to speed up how quickly you can fill the crate to claim it. You can upgrade how long your aura is going for, increase the quantity of super tokens you're earning as well. This will be a good one here as you kind of keep upgrading that sucker. Then when you claim the crate, you also get some tokens. So, you know, let the horn run for a little bit. We'll see if we can catch up. Oh, no. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought my mic cut out. Am I still good? I thought I saw a comment there. I looked down. The desktop audio is muted, but my mic should still be going. All right. Did have some technical challenges at the start. They had to log back into YouTube. I got logged out, and I logged in, and I had to switch accounts. So we had a little bit of a delayed start this morning. But when it rains, it pours sometimes with the technical problems here. Rachel noticing what a cool skin. That is a pretty darn cool looking skin, I will admit as well. I like that one. I really like, this stood out to me. I don't know if you've ever had these wafers. Yeah, if you see my mouse here highlighting down here. Those are little cookie wafers. I don't know if you've ever had those ones. They have a little kind of frosted filling. Now, Bastian, grinding pays off eventually. There, exactly. That's certainly lots of it in the game. Francis, she just came back to the game. Where's the droid parts on the bazaar? So some old guides might be a little bit outdated. A while ago, we kind of simplified things quite a bit. Just as there's been more things added to the game. Now you can just go to the trapsmith and buy traps directly. Fewer of them are crafted. A lot of them, it was almost just like a shopping list. You'd buy droid parts and they cost gold. And then you go buy a trap using the droid parts. So now just the cost of the trap is a little bit more. It's the exact same transaction, but you don't have to kind of go fill your cart with 4 different things and then buy the trap. And just kind of as the game has grown and there's so much more complexity, so many other things to kind of learn and keep in your memory, it's just kind of one fewer thing. So you can focus on the more interesting things that demand your attention rather than kind of remembering the exact like order of operations of making a trap. Kind of the more fun thing is what you get to do with that trap to then earn other more interesting things. So hope that makes sense. Scrib is loving that cannon skin as well. Maybe you can preview the other skin as well. Let me see, slow down this one. There'll be one new skin as well. These are all things you get to see right on the release date, so I don't think they count as spoilers, but you know, if you like to wait until the actual event starts, avert your gaze, especially when you're looking into the Magic Mirrors trap. You should avert your gaze. Be careful. Mona missed the MouseHunt chat room memories, the old IRC chat room I think you're probably referring to. Well, hey, you can go up here, go to Kingdom, go to the Discord server. There's a community-run server where you know, that should definitely fulfill your chat needs in a great way. There's a wonderful community of players there, pretty well 24/7 online chatting away. You can usually don't have to look too far to make a new friend. Scrib, you think those pink wafers are excellent? Yeah, chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? What was your favorite? Well, that's that style of cookie. I think I liked the vanilla, although it'd be a little sweet. Ryan, factory repair charms, thought you were getting rid of those. So it's kind of a long-term vision, right? Kind of the design philosophy of charms is we're trying to keep this slot free to boost your catch rate. But that said, that's probably won't run its course until we have an opportunity to overhaul the birthday event. So factory repair charms are kind of you know, back just to work the way they did last year. And just kind of due to time constraints, we couldn't really overhaul the birthday. We spent a long time overhauling the Great Winter Hunt this year. So that's kind of where a lot of our time went. And there's only so many hours in the day. I wish there were more, and I try to add some more, but no, it doesn't seem to work. Ryan, does Cupcake Colby have any special effects? You know, off the top of my head, I don't know. Typically, we do try to have old event cheese work the same way Super Brie does during an event. That's it off the top of my head. I don't know if that's how we put it. And I don't think I have any Cupcake Colby because it would have been years ago we would have put that in. So that would be out of my memory banks by now for sure. Yeah, the Coggy Colby and Speedy Coggy Colby. Those are kind of the main event cheese that you can find. Casperus asking when we can, asking for an update on when we can have the horn from the lock screen on iPhone. Actually, yeah, hold on. We'll get to that in a minute. I do have a quick little update on where we're at with the iOS widget. Kind of slow, steady progress, just kind of figuring out the new technology, the new guidelines from Apple, and trying to find the best solution there. Obi accidentally crafted 2 Dragon Slayer chassis because you forgot the order of crafting things. Fair enough. Kind of case in point. That is the one trap, though. It's so above and beyond. It's meant to be kind of this epic journey you're going on. Help the trapsmith figure out how to make this rare, mysterious trap that's shrouded in mystery. So, hopefully we're trying to have some fun with the narrative and the story there. Nice reflections. I do like the reflections in the trap as well. Aaron, yes, that's awesome. You'll be grabbing that one for sure because you'll be getting that trap soon as well. This is a great trap. I even recently got this trap myself as well in the live game, so I could get back to the garden. It's time to sound my horn. Let's see what's going to happen. Fungal spore. No twisted carmine. Maybe next time. Scribbin ratio like the strawberry of those cookie wafers. I'm losing my voice already. Oh boy. Can you open a Fofo snack pack and show us? That sounds good to me. I can't afford one yet. I only have 15 tokens. I need 25. Let's open up one of them, though. Let's upgrade the pump room. No, we can't. I need more pumps here. All right, we're going to do the time warp again. And we're going to hunt faster than we should. There we go. Oh, I'm not in the pump room. That's not going to help me out then. Let's claim a crate. Hey, we got 20 tokens because our break room isn't fully upgraded. It's level 4. We could be getting 25. Story seeds. We opening up a pack of story seeds. They look delicious from the vending machine. Again, take heed of the big red warning above it. Development in progress, subject to change. This is often the stuff we really tune toward the end of development, is tweaking numbers, because that's kind of easy to change, whereas we focus more on getting like the functionality in place, get that tested and rock solid. It's easy to change the number 30 to the number 25. It's a lot harder to change kind of the code that makes it work. So that said, it is random, so if I got another one, I might get some different items from the next snack pack. And it's not the same every single time. Liam, is the factory going to be producing magical string for us as well? It exists outside the Rift plane. That said, I don't recall if the package of Riftios contains any. That's 15, eh? Let's see if we can get that going. We are getting this up and going too. A big jack, part of the excitement there was getting a progress bar, countdown timer, functionality kind of in place that we could reuse and just skin in a different way. So it's great to see we've been able to incorporate that on the HUD as well. You'll be able to see when the event starts and ends. Let's buy some Riftios though and see what happens. I don't think there's magic string. I could be mistaken. Yeah, I don't think there's magic string in there. That's it. If you have some essence, you can create magic string, unless I'm mistaken. The pink wafer is raspberry? I always thought it was strawberry. Hold up. Hold up here. These are the important things to ponder. Where did that Dragon Slayer cannon go? You tell me these were raspberry? I think that might make sense, actually. I could have swore they were strawberry. You just share, will the Gilded Party birthday maps return? They will indeed, as well as the popular party size version of them as well. Tarako asking, who will be the final mouse in the Super Brie factory? It is Vincent, so kind of one thing we shy away from is adding too many new event mice. Just here we are, in the context of 15 years of mouse hunting. And actually, this might be a nice segue to get into the next kind of part of Feedback Friday here. But as the years go by and we have more and more event mice, it becomes an increasingly difficult challenge to incorporate them all into the event. Winter Hunt is always a challenge because there's so many different types of mice with different themes. You almost feel like you're just kind of inserting them into not a place where they're super comfortable. In terms of kind of the theme and the narrative, it can start to feel a little bit like a collage where it doesn't all go together anymore. So we're always a little hesitant to add more event mice and even just kind of use that time to add more permanent mice to the game, new adventures to go on, that sort of thing. And the nice thing about that type of releases, it's around for years. You can enjoy it for years to come. Events are obviously nice as well, but we'd like to spend a little bit more time adding new permanent adventures to the game. Those are new mice you could work on King's Crowns for. They're not going anywhere. They stick around. Even future generations of mouse hunters get to kind of come up the ranks and enjoy those adventures as well. So we're looking to find a little bit of a better balance between kind of how much time we spend on events versus how much time we spend on permanent areas. YX, do we have a chance to get condensed creativity in the Story Seed Snack Pack? No, it's the narrative here is very much so edible things. You're at a vending machine, so it's primarily cheese. There's a few exceptions to that. We kind of bend the rules a little bit. Some of them might have the ingredients to make cheese. Like I think you get petals often when you buy this, but it goes into the cheese. So we're trying to keep it as edible things and to give all the events a bit of their own unique identity. Like the Super Brie Factory is a great time to get some either difficult to get cheese. You could also get a lot of Super Brie from it as well. And that way they all feel unique. So it doesn't feel like everything's just a reskin. Every event's just a reskin of the same thing over and over. The Winter Hunt has a big loot pinata. It's kind of a bit of everything. It's that sort of above and beyond. Lunar New Year has a great identity of you're getting the same things you normally do, but it's doubled or tripled. The Super Brie Factory has that cheese identity to it. But then it allows, maybe it's a little bit more generous on the cheese than some other events that might also give you cheese, if that makes sense. Magical string would be nice to have a reward as well. Well, remember you can craft magical string cheese. So as you're getting Super Brie, smash it into magic essence and you can use that to make magical string cheese. So in a way, the event already can reward quite a bit of it. And I think I've missed a whole bunch of chat. I apologize. I try my best, but it can be difficult to jump around too quickly here. Arctic was maybe asking a brief overview of how this event works. So let's just get into it a little bit here if you haven't played the event before. Yeah, sure, we'll arm some brie. So when you start out, you can collect Coggy Colby cheese from the mice here. And this is a test environment. That's why I can sound the horn so fast. Even we kind of have little helpers if you just want to do 10 hunts really fast. Hey, cool, you can do that. So you collect this Coggy Colby cheese, and the idea is you're trying to pump Super Brie to fill this crate. Help the factory make some Super Brie. Has a pretty cool little home on the map. This is where the king hides the Super Brie factory. If it'll load and cooperate. Our test server doesn't quite have the same horsepower as our real ones. There we go, it's coming. So this will ascend. This will rise from the ocean, from the Rodentia Ocean here. This is where the king hides the Super Brie factory. But as always, the mice are overrun, especially it's a giant factory making cheese. You're going to find some mice running amok. So then when you arm your Colby, every hunt you take will pump cheese through this crate. So if I take 5 hunts or through the pipeline here, you can see this progress bar winds through the factory. Eventually it fills this. It's going to take me 62 catches with Coggy Colby to fill this. I get to claim the crate, get some Super Brie, get some tokens. The tokens you can spend at this vending machine, the Super Snacks Plus machine, to even get additional cheese themed over various regions. So, whatever part of the game you're currently working on, that's probably the snack pack you want to pick. And that's the event in a nutshell. As well, too, I did want to touch on, I did mention the trap skins. So some of them, there are trap skins available from the Trapsmith, and you can buy them with Super Tokens Plus. And like I mentioned earlier here, back here when we're discussing this, we're looking to adjust the costs a little bit just to make them not completely trivial to earn, but without being over the top expensive or anything like that. Adding gold costs that are, kind of title appropriate. This is for an Archduke level trap, 250,000 gold to an Archduke. You can earn that pretty, in a reasonable amount of time as an Archduke. And just, a few more tokens, so it kind of costs the amount of tokens you might get in a crate when you finish pumping, if there's some of the really top-end skins for high-level traps. And as you go down, they get, fewer and fewer tokens as they're more intro-level traps. And this one here that you get from the event itself. The debate continues over whether the wafer is strawberry or raspberry. I'm going to have to pay close attention next time I'm in a grocery store. I'm going to look for some of these. I got a craving now. Swift, I love to eat mythical mulch. Yeah, we had to bend the rules a little bit. I mean, the farm doesn't have a strong cheese identity, so we had to bend the rules a little bit there. And, it is what goes into making the plants. It's what's attracting the mice. The mice do kind of want to eat the plants. That's why they're coming down. There still has to be some cheese there. So you got to take a little bit of creative license here and there. But hopefully it's not too big of a stretch. Maybe like the Frost King last year, but some old Winter Hunt Boss Mouse for this year. Yeah, I think we take the opportunity to refresh that character when the event's going to have a new narrative to it. So that's kind of where we're at with it in terms of events, and just it does get difficult to start managing all these mice. And like I said, this is probably a good segue here into the next topic as well, with the Valentine's event coming to a wrap up here next week. So we did extend the Valentine's matchmaking event. We also tripled the chance of a match occurring, basically encountering a Valentine's mice. Because, in all fairness, these mice have existed in the game for a while, and they used to be available in a different way than they are today. So I can appreciate if you're set your sights on a King's Crown. Don't get me wrong, some King's Crowns are harder than others, and that's just part of the story. When you see somebody who has a crown for a particular mouse, that should tell a story. Sometimes like, whoa, that one must have taken a very long time. But these ones have a bit of an inconsistent story to tell. And it kind of depends. Well, did you hunt them 12 years ago or 2 years ago? It would depend on how difficult that crown was. So we've amped that up a little bit. Now we're exploring maybe moving some of these Valentine's event mice into permanent areas. The Sporty Love Mouse. What's the name of that mouse? I have to look that one up. The Lovely Sports Mouse, for example, I could see that having a home in the tournament hall there, and maybe trying to find a few spots where it's not a big stretch. Maybe if we revise the description and just kind of rethink what the story of that character is a little bit, we can incorporate them into some areas in the game as well. The Valentine's event is always a bit awkward because it sometimes overlaps with Lunar New Year, sometimes doesn't. Kind of don't want to set it up where you have to choose between either Lunar New Year or the Valentine's event, if they both kind of took you to a unique location or something like that. So it's kind of a hard problem to solve, and maybe it's best that some of these mice kind of get repurposed a little bit, kind of like we did with some of the Winter Games, Summer Games mice. That said, we want to try to find at least a somewhat appropriate, feasible home for them. If we kind of make like the Island of Misfit Mice and just kind of stick a bunch of old event mice over there, I can understand the sentiment of like, hey, why not? It works, right? But it just kind of feels a little out of place at the same time. If we didn't have these mice, would we sit down and think, oh, we want an island of misfit mice where they all have different themes and it's all disjointed and there's no gameplay or anything interesting to do there? We probably wouldn't have that idea, right? And so we kind of want to, if we're going to do it, try to do it right in a way that feels consistent, doesn't sort of stick out at all. It's not something where somebody starting the game next year inevitably asks, like, what's the deal with this weird location, right? So we're trying to find a nice creative way to incorporate them where it doesn't feel like it just kind of, copped out and just put them over there just because. Hopefully we can find a more creative solution to that. Compare it to, you just want to spend the time to find a nice solution. You could ask an artist, hey, why did you spend so much time illustrating this and rendering it and shading it and working on the lighting to get it just right? Why didn't you just make a stick figure? That's way faster, right? And so with any kind of creative process, you want to be proud of the end result, right? And so, I think that's kind of why we lean toward wanting to find a nice home for them where, okay, like it's a solution to maybe there's a problem, but it's done in a way like we're proud of the end result. We don't feel like, oh, well, it was just we patched over a crack on the wall. Nobody go near that or ask questions why. Draco, the Vortman wafers at Loblaws are strawberry. Draco coming through, looking it up. Sure enough, in this area here, they're probably strawberry then. They were on sale for... I've made everyone hungry. We're talking about wafers here. Aaron, no, we need to keep doing the desperate, painful grinding for the rib. I don't get one. I'm going to get on the marketplace next week when it crashes again from scarves, eh? Well, that's always sort of, there's blends of different areas, not to get too far off topic though. What does a rare Valentine's map give you as opposed to the standard one? I don't have that right in front of me and I don't want to misspeak. So do I have a, no, I don't even have a Valentine's map in this environment here. If you do have a map, you can hit the preview, and then even if you go to use dust before it actually applies, it'll give you a hint about what you can expect. Mac, have you ever considered semi-retiring events? It's tricky. It's a very tough space for us because the mice exist, and that's a huge identity of the game, is collecting all the mice. And I think there's downsides to just straight up removing mice from the game. Kind of really don't want to do that. We've never done that. So it's a creative challenge. And so just hopefully though, when we find the right solution, we can act on it. But it wouldn't be the first time. There used to be a few other events that used to run and just kind of phase them out over time. Yeah, Jonathan, you kind of like the bonus hunt says now, pretty much perfect for Valentine's because it doesn't conflict. Yeah, that was the original inspiration of why they're done that way, and I don't know if we'd get rid of the matchmaker event. I think it could still exist as an opportunity to encounter these mice for a few days around Valentine's Day anywhere, right? So then you don't have to go to your way to find them, and it's still fun. Another challenge we have with repurposing these mice is the identity of Valentine's Day as an event. It's meant to be a little over the top, right? Like it's meant to be a little cheesy, a little corny. That's why some of the Valentine's characters, like they're kind of hamming it up a little bit, right? And so to incorporate them in other areas, they don't quite fit the aesthetic of the game, right? They work in the context of, well, it's Valentine's Day, so these characters are meant to be really over the top and really not fit with the theme or the narrative of the game at all, because they're meant to fit with the theme and narrative of Valentine's Day and kind of cross that bridge a little bit. So we may need to kind of make a few adjustments there if we go in that direction. Fernando, what about a new area that takes place in space? Well, never say never, but we'll see. We'll have to kind of need kind of the right idea to explore it, while being careful not to jump the shark. Michael, rare Valentine's map guarantees a skin drop. There you go. Michael has answered the question. That could have been this week's trivia, as I've realized I've forgotten to put together a trivia. Which that's been a bit of a challenge over the years as well, putting skins as treasure map rewards, because inevitably you keep doing the maps and you keep getting doubles. And trap skins are the type of thing you kind of don't need 100 of the same trap skin. Once there's one for everybody in the game, they become, well, why am I getting this? What else can I do with this thing? But that's probably a problem for another day. And elusive, fair enough. Don't use rare map dust on the Valentine's maps. Probably not the greatest use of rare map dust, but it's still a decision each individual hunter can make for themselves. And yeah, Michael, it's cheaper to buy the skin and sell. Sell your rare map dust. You could probably buy many of the skins with the proceeds from buying and selling a rare map dust on the marketplace than applying it to the map. But that said, if you want to share the skins with friends while you do maps, there's some value in that. So. Rachel, the cheesy party mouse is one of your favorites in the game. Still can't wait to see them on. I love the factory repair technician. I don't know what it is. I think, if I had to guess, it's the juxtaposition of, it's going to work, got a big wrench over its shoulder, but it's also wearing a party hat. Are you going to party or are you going to work? A little bit of both. That's why I like it. Yo, Fleming, how you doing? Don't forget to hydrate. Look at this, me without any water. I'll have to settle for coffee. And I'm out of coffee. Uh-oh. Scrib, why not just send the majority of the mice to the town in Nani? A lovely sports mouse definitely belongs in the tournament hall, though. Well, like I was saying earlier, I think we worry they stick out a bit, right? Their characters they were designed to be over the top. They're hamming it up. It's Valentine's Day. They're designed within the aesthetic, the theme, and the narrative of Valentine's. They're not designed within the theme and the aesthetic of the town of Nani or the game as a whole. If we were sitting down and wanted to overhaul the town of Narnia, reimagine it, and add new mice, we would not reach for, some of those Valentine's mice. We're like, well, no, those characters don't make sense to put here, right? So that's kind of the dilemma we're in, right? It's kind of finding a home for them. They might need a little tweaking, at least the description change, kind of that their story is a little bit. And maybe a couple of them stay as Valentine's mice that show up during the matchmaker event, but then they can be more abundant as well. And so they show up for a few days and they're the primary mouse, and you still get one of the other ones, but something we're workshopping. Again, just an idea, no promises or anything, something we're exploring. It's kind of written down. It's on a to-do list somewhere. Franklin, have you considered a native app for Windows that would notify you when the horn's ready? Yeah, not particularly. Just, we're stretched a little thin as is, and the metaphor I often use is one of a train. And you can imagine there's a locomotive, and they're pulling a few cars on the train. Every time we add new features, every time we add a new area, a new event, whatever it is, it's like putting another car on the train. And you got to make sure you have a strong enough locomotive to pull that, and you have to make sure you have enough mechanics to keep maintaining all these cars you're putting on the train, right? So, in the context, this is a good time to discuss this, and looking back over 15 years, 15 years ago, there weren't very many areas or features in the game, so you didn't need a whole lot, a big team to kind of mechanics to maintain that, keep everything up and running smoothly. But over the course of 15 years, we've added a lot of cars to this train. But realistically, we can only afford to have so many mechanics work on said train. So I always be a little bit hesitant if we bring the game to a new platform that we won't be able to provide the appropriate level of support for it, as we're already stretched a little thin. And so there's always a little bit of hesitation there, because we also don't want to not put our best foot forward, or kind of launch something but then not be able to support it. I mean, already we kind of have challenges with that. So we have to kind of pick and choose our battles a little bit. And it being a web game accessible in the web browser, hopefully that's a great compromise where that adds a lot of cross-platform play. YX Dave, will you be resuming the physical MouseHunt gathering around the world? I think there is definitely a party being planned in London this year, but I will not be in attendance. But there are some player-run get-togethers. I've definitely been, I think, getting back into the swing of things. Rachel, you need water too. I'm regretting that. I am losing my voice a little bit here. The other topic I wanted to mention as well, give a quick update on the iOS widget. So iOS updated, and basically they were doing away with the old style of widget. If you used to use it, you could swipe left on your home screen, and then there was a hunter's horn with a countdown timer on it. They're reimagining that, and now you can embed widgets throughout your home screen on iOS, and they've really changed just the whole way you implement them. But with that are new technical limitations as well. So I have just a quick screen grab here of the latest R&D proof of concept, but unfortunately we hit a huge technical roadblock with it. That's kind of the last mouse I captured, and a countdown timer for when my next horn would happen. Again, this is just kind of developer putting it together, testing the functionality. Also, we'd make it look nicer and would just be kind of a countdown timer floating there. But unfortunately, iOS does have some limitations. The first one we ran into is the widget, you're not allowed to interact with it in any way. So you can't tap it, you can't click and drag. The only thing it can do is when you hit it, you can open the app and basically pass data to the app to say, hey, they clicked the horn. So when the app loads, please sound the horn right away. So we got that up and running. You can have a button on your home screen and it looks like a horn. When you tap it, the MouseHunt app launches and just sounds the horn right away for you if you are ready to hunt, that is. So great. All right, we're on the right track. Then we went to add a countdown timer of when you can next sound the horn, and oh boy, did we ever run into some challenges there. With the new way iOS widgets are set up, they work on a timeline. So basically, you can't have a ticking down timer because that would have to update every single second, and they impose a restriction that says you can only request that your widget updates no more than once every 5 minutes. That doesn't help a countdown timer. And then even when you say, hey, I want this to update at 10:35, it might be 10:36, it might be 10:34. We don't promise that it'll be the exact moment that you requested. And I think that's for battery saving measures. What they do is they batch together a lot of those requests so all your widgets can update at once and then your phone can go back to sleep, as to not drain your battery too quickly. So that's kind of been a bit of a showstopper for us, really. And now we're exploring alternatives where we might now show the time that you will be next able to sound the horn. So if at 4:43 p.m. is when you can sound the horn, we might show 4:43 p.m. and then update it to be a horn approximately when that time shows up. But again, due to operating system restrictions, we can't guarantee that it will change to a horn at the exact same second that you're going to be able to sound the horn. So, okay, that was a bit of a mouthful, but hopefully that's a bit of an update for everybody using iOS as well who's been missing the widget. Spencer, similar asking if there's similar issues with Android. No, Android. Google did update kind of how their widgets work about the same time as well. So it's been a bit of a catch-up game for us as well, kind of going through and reimagining the functionality of the widgets. And right now, we know we'd have to get back and look at some kind of improving the reliability of the Android widget. But at least that can tick down every second, at least for now. But there's still some other kind of rough edges to smooth out with the Android widget as well. But we're getting there slowly but surely. Grant, the sporty great winter hunt mice could go in the mountain as well using Arctic Asiago. And that was something else we were kind of playing around. Again, not to jump back and forth too much between topics. But, it's an option we're considering as well. Like hiding a few of these mice almost like little Easter eggs. Hey, if you have this cheese, you can go find like a hidden mouse. But again, we want to put the time into it to pull it off well. Kind of it goes back to, I don't know, if you're going to do something, we want to make sure we do it right and it doesn't end up being too confusing. Because there's already a few loose ends like that. Like we already haven't gotten back to Digby and how you get limelight cheese for the first time. Kind of a designer needs to sit down and just kind of smooth that out a little bit. But at least, Digby for the time means a little bit of a hidden side quest. Can you figure out how to unlock this area? But we don't want too much of that. Because if there's too much of that, it gets to be a lot to remember. Well, how does all this work? Yeah, Swift, not every area has game progression, like the Cove and King's Gauntlet. Yeah, for sure. Some of them, and we try to mark that a little bit, signal in the adventure book. The ones that are King's credits are sort of bonus adventures, if you will, because they don't unlock a new area and kind of help you move on into higher level adventures. Joseph, you think you'd prefer to see the time you last hunted rather than the time you can hunt next? Okay, fair enough. It's tough because it can't be a relative timestamp. It can't say you last hunted 14 minutes ago because we can't update the time at all. And I don't know, just thinking about how a calendar works. If you have a dentist appointment at 10 a.m., I don't tell you your last dentist appointment was 6 months ago at 10 a.m. and your next appointment's in 6 months. I tell you, be here at this time, right? And sounding the horn is an appointment. So I think, I'm open to feedback here, but I think that's probably a better way to go is, hey, you have something you can do at this moment in time. It's like, this is when you show up for your appointment. I'm thinking that might be more clear to more players. Well, yeah, Digby desperately needs a rework. Yeah, we agree. We're just, when we can get there, there's a lot of different priorities at the moment. Feels more like a journal entry. Case in point, FYI, this is not the final look of it, right? Like this is just kind of, I even hesitate to share screenshots like this because it really is a developer just putting some data up there on the screen to see if it functionally works. And I hope it makes sense to not, we don't put time into designing the interface and polish before we know it's going to work functionally. Otherwise, you got to throw all that work out. So it's a bit like installing the kitchen cabinets before you've finished the drywall. It's like, well, I just got to take the cabinets back down to put the drywall up. So this is very much so like the rough in. You're installing a washroom and the plumbing has been put into place, but we haven't installed the light fixture and the vanity yet. There's not a nice sink and a faucet yet, but the plumbing's all hooked up. We're good to go. We want to make sure, and we ran into a problem, right? Like the plumbing can't quite get hooked up correctly to make this thing work the way we want it to. And so that's why we work in that order. But, fair enough. If you're not kind of, have the programmer mentality, sometimes I hesitate to share screenshots because it ends up looking like a final product. Or, it might end up being parsed through all, this is what I'm getting versus this is where they're at with it. Sri asking, how's the Folklore Forest expansion coming up? It's good to see the art team has now started with the art for the area. Been at it for a while now. It's starting to really take shape. So it's progressing along nicely. And I think we'll probably share more in future Feedback Fridays. Jack, it is just a weird thought. Shouldn't the Huntington be the HMSS Huntington, seen as Narnia is a monarchy? Hey, who knows? It might have its own sort of political structure going for it. Yeah, Bastian, exactly. Functionality before skinning. That's a good way to. It's like you're putting up the framing of a house before you put up the walls, before you put in the decor, before you decide what color couch you want. You got to put up, frame the house first. That's kind of where we're at. All right, Joel, oh no, the shade of the Eclipse Mouse keeps stealing your bait. Make sure you have a good Rift theme charm there. Make full advantage of the Rift Stalker set bonus. YX, can you visit the Hit Grab office? We do not have an office at the moment. We shifted to remote, and we have stayed that way ever since. And so far, so good. It's actually been beneficial. Office space isn't cheap, and it's kind of helped us put more of our resources into the game. And hopefully we still found ways to collaborate and work well. There's some things we miss about it as well. I think there's some downsides, but there's a lot of positives as well. And like I said, it lets us put more back into the game rather than paying rent, to fulfill an office. We get to put more of that back in to make more cool things in the game instead. So if you think a neat compromise for event mice is to rotate the event bosses, yeah, it's tough, right? Some of them are very tied. Like the Frost King is wearing that scarf, and the whole backstory narrative of like, yo, it's my ice fortress. And so it'd be tough to swap it out for like the Candy Cane mouse. It just doesn't have the same intimidating presence, right? It doesn't have the same narrative to it. Or like, the Naughty Nougat even. Like, well, why is that one now in an ice fort? So I like to try to make it cohesive. Jennifer, there's a pity there's a cap on traps and bases. If we could have 2 of each, it'd be good preparation for upgrades. Well, I mean, you can always go and get the materials to make it, I guess. But, if it's something you need to upgrade down the road, usually you can still go and get the stuff you need there. But it definitely saves a few hunters from accidentally buying like 10 of something that you only need 1 of. Capri, are you going to stream a holiday get-together again? Which holiday? Was it the birthday specifically? I don't recall doing that, but... Eileen, it was a nice space too. You loved the wall painting. Boy, will I miss this one. My mic's going to cut out to show it, but I can't believe the timing of this here. I'll just put this on the screen for a second because I don't have a microphone when this is up. But that image that we use as the loading screen... is in real print that Maxine, who is no longer with us, she's moved on to other things, but she arranged that, and also it's a collage of many different artists' work, but she kind of composed it all together, and we actually had that printed out, and I can't believe the timing. We put in the order, and about a couple months after that, along came COVID, which kind of changed things around, and we all shifted to remote work, and actually it finished production. The printers finished it during COVID shutdown. And so it was still in bubble wrap for years. But it was meant to hang on the wall, kind of around all of our desks and kind of be a focal point. As soon as you walk in the door, nice big MouseHunt logo. There's just something fun about that. It's a good motivating factor. You get to enjoy all the cool art in the game in an interesting way. And, I missed that. I was looking forward to seeing that in action. But now it's unfortunately still in storage because I don't quite know what we would do with that because it's huge. It is massive. It is pretty well the size of this whole wall behind me. I forget the exact dimensions, but it's measured in feet, not inches. Or meters, if you're a fan of metric here, which I probably should be here as well. Dave, what is the event after the 15th anniversary birthday event? So the birthday event will be here. And then, unless I'm sorely mistaken, the spring egg hunt will follow that. I don't have an exact date on that yet. I'll probably get a little bit more down into the world of development before we're ready to announce a date, but the spring egg hunt would be next, and that kind of caps the end of event season, at least in those sort of predictable reoccurring events that happen, roughly around the same time each year. And then, we're hoping we'll see how kind of a new expansion is coming along, a couple other things maybe in the works as well for the summer, but we'll see how things go. Kind of too soon to say. New York Dragon Mouse won't let you get them, eh? Well, make sure you don't get a good Draconic Trap up and running. If you haven't, you can get Dragonbane charms off the marketplace. That's a nice boost as well. If you're having trouble, if you're attracting the dragon, having trouble catching it. If you got a little bit of spare gold, maybe just buy a few Dragonbane. You're going to need a few of them. They're a little pricey, depending on which one you go with and how much gold you have on hand. But even, the ultimate Dragonbane charm shouldn't be too much. The Winter Hunt saw to that. So they're about 50k each. So if you can afford to spend 50,000 gold when you sound the horn, you can get an ultimate Dragonbane charm. That will give you an absolute colossal power bonus against Dragon Mice. Time to sound the horn. Did I miss it? Did somebody bring me on a hunt? Or maybe I'm just behind in chat. Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe I just subconsciously sounded it. Yeah, Swift, who kept the giant poster? Yeah, it's in storage, which is just an absolute crime, if you ask me. The Chrome Dragon Slayer cannon. No immediate plans for that. Maybe one day. That one's got a little bit of awkwardness, although if there's any trap that can hold up to sort of having an epic identity, it would be that one, right? Like just the backstory of how that thing was discovered and just how awesome it is meant to be. Quite legendary, and I don't mean that in the sense of the MouseHunt title. If there was anything that could be double chrome, that would probably be it, because it already has a chrome kit, if I'm not mistaken, right? You need the chrome Stormrot Ballista, and you need to smash that just to make the Dragon Slayer cannon. It already has some chrome parts inside of it. Rachel, you have some pun suggestions for scrambles? You can pepper those in chat a little bit or share them wherever you can. I don't know if we can update scrambles or not. Well, on that note, can you believe I don't have a trivia question today? I think I realized that in and amongst the technical challenges here. We didn't get a trivia question organized. But Larry does have a reward link. I'll see if I can organize that. There it is. Yes, indeed. All right. I will put this in the chat for your clicking convenience. We can put it up on screen too. Let's do it. The trivia question is blank. Let's see, what was last week's question? Let's see, do you remember the answer from last week? What new item did Big Jack bring with her during her 2021 visit? This is going to be a test for me here. Do I remember? I believe it was the bloomin' rubber plant. Is that the correct answer? It is. All right. That is not the reward link, though. Heads up. Heads up, that is not the reward link. There we go. Brand new reward link. I've updated it now. What you see on screen is indeed a reward link. Yes, correct, Sebastian. All right. I got the trivia question right. I was the first person to answer it for just a change of pace, something different. Hey, why not? Reward link. I put that in the chat as well for your clicking convenience. I think I'm going to claim it. I haven't claimed it yet. It is 10 Super Party Charms from Larry the Friendly Knight. Swift, how many artists does MouseHunt have at the moment? At 4. Do a quick head count. 4 and someone doing UI as well. YX, are there any limited edition MouseHunt merch? No, I don't think we have any. A newer higher level Hydro Trap would be a nice addition. Yeah, really? I don't know. I think that you still have the Chrome School of Sharks. I think that's still pretty relevant to this day, so it might be a while before we see anything above that. Are there any talks about a post-Chrome thing? The concept of the upgrade kits will remain relevant, but to you at least, you can only go so far with that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no immediate plans. There's still a few Chrome things to bust out in the meantime. Yeah, I think there's that poster as well from Christian. Yeah. And I think that's still kicking around. I think that got stored up in the tube it came in. I know Brian had that for a while. That was a couple offices ago even. Thanks for the free gift. Scrib, I could have swore that was the one from last time. You are right, because, you know, Larry didn't have a new interesting trivia question, I guess. I'm sorting out a little technical hiccup. Maybe I should get the trivia question and link made the day before rather than the morning of. Maybe that's what the takeaway from this. Obi, is MouseHunt hiring? I wish we could, but we're pretty well maxed. We certainly could use a little bit of help. There's lots to get done, but we are pretty well running at max capacity here. Hank, how many people use the legacy button UI? You know, I don't have a way to look that up on the spot, but you know, there's a few. I think it's not the majority of players though. YX, any plans for new Rift areas this year? You know, never say never, but I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say no. There'll be no new Rift areas this year. Oh, CCM, welcome to chat. Hope you're doing well today. All right, Rachel, we were hoping for your scrambles puns ideas. I was hoping to read a few of those before we wrap up. It's seldom a bad idea to check out Feedback Friday. All right. I'm copy and pasting this. All right, we're good here. If you're feeling cooped up, spread your wings and check out the MouseHunt Discord. All right, those are a couple beauties right there. Rachel, if Scrambles did hear those puns, do we have your permission to use your creative lingo? Thanks for indulging me. You really just love Scrambles. All right, it's glad to hear a little bit of love for Scrambles. You have 122 of them. Salim, unlikely to chrome the hit grab rainbow rockin' horse. Yudashir, we need a chrome law trap. That probably won't be for some time. Law still has a little bit of ways to go, but I think before it's ready to be adorned in chrome. Arctic, you just switched from Legacy 8. It does kind of help us support things a little bit better, not maintaining two different versions, but so far so good. We haven't kind of tripped up too many things, but long ago even the camp had a slightly different layout. It unfortunately just got kind of unreasonable for just as a small team to maintain the two. It kind of started to double our workload a little bit, and that got tricky. Mark, thank you, Dave. See you in London. No, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to join the festivities there. Rachel, MouseHunt would be a friendly place to work. I certainly hope so. CCM, you said Ronza is here next week, right, Dave? No, I don't recall saying that, CCM. I don't recall saying that at all. I haven't had any word from Ronza. She's a mysterious gal. She doesn't tend to give us a whole lot of heads up when she's going to land. The Chrome Death Bot. Yeah, I don't know if we'll get to the point of double chroming, eh? We'll see. Who knows what tricks she has up her sleeves. Eileen's checking out. You got 142 scrambles. Now you have me scratching my head. How many do I have? They are a challenge to find them. There you go. Collectibles. I only have 19. You know, I've gotten sent a whole lot of scrambles here. A whole lot of scrambles going on. All right, well, where are we at? We just surpassed the hour mark here. That's usually my cue to wrap things up. So thank you for joining me, Hunters. Probably Jacob joining you next week. Reminder that Big Jack is coming to an end in 4 days' time, February 22. So remember, if you want to do any of your leaf exchange, if you want to get any of those plants, make sure you pick those up before Big Jack leaves. Otherwise, she's gone. You can't buy anything from her shop. The Valentine's event, if you didn't notice, it has been extended. It is going to go right up to the moment Jack leaves, which will be February 22 as well. Roughly the same time Feedback Friday goes live. So that's 11 a.m. our time. That's typically, it's still a manual process of how we shut down events. So, it might be a few moments after that. But roughly speaking, that's when those two events will come to a wind down. You can look forward to the Super Brie Factory is going to return February 28th, run to the 21st. That event does have a shutdown phase where you can finish pumping one final crate. You can spend any tokens that you had, but then a week later, finally shuts down, or does a final shutdown, and tokens are removed shortly thereafter. So make sure you spend them. Other than that too, just kind of touched base on a little bit of Valentine's feedback as well. Gave a quick little, again, a little technical demo here of where we're at, but we are facing some challenges getting the widget up and running on iOS. But that'll do it for me. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend, everybody. At least here, hey, it's a long weekend. We're off on Monday, so if it's a long weekend where you are as well, enjoy a 3-day weekend. It'll probably be Jacob joining you next time for some art. And me following that, and I'll see what we can get into then. I'll see you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy hunting.
2. You're a trap. Don't seem to mind it. You attract me. I'm a mouse, you're a cat. I don't seem to mind it. Soft and furry, oh, and just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Just when you think you're safe, snap. I come back. You don't seem to mind it, but I'm a fool. Broke my back. You don't seem to mind it, 'cause you're so cool. And just when I think I'm safe, snap. Turns out I'm never safe, snap. Ooh. And just when you think you're safe, snap. Turns out